Welcome to Sound and Communications VIEWpoint, second edition of Dealing with the Enemy. Lee, let me ask you, why do architects hate audiovisual?
It's not that we hate audiovisual. We just hate all your equipment. There's nothing inherently beautiful or architectural about most speakers.
What do you mean, a projector isn't beautiful to you? Come on.
Sticking out of a nice, crisp, clean ceiling, you have this bulbous thing hanging from it, and it's always got wires dangling. No, no. And most of the time, you know, a monitor is sitting there on a wall, and it's just black. Mm-hmm. When there's an image going through it, and the image somehow relates to the space, it's terrific. Mm-hmm. And when it's in use, it looks terrific. But most of the time, we'd like it not to be there when it's not in use.
But it works. I mean, if it meets the client's needs, and it's really what we need for the space. You know, we need to design these things so that it meets all the needs of the clients.
Absolutely. I mean, what we're both trying to do is the same thing, is to take a need that a client has, whether it's for an educational or a training purpose, or maybe in a lobby it's to create a branding experience. But we're trying to do it in such a way that the architecture and the technology complement that function and don't distract from it, mm-hmm. Both when it's on and working and also when it's not. You know, a conference room that's in the midst of an audio-visual presentation, everybody's eyes are fixed on the graphics on the monitor. As soon as it goes off, everybody pays attention to the room, and a monitor appears like a black hole in a wall. And there's not a lot you can do with it.
But to us, that's a nice thing, seeing that black hole in the wall. You know, we just really like the way that looks.
Engineers, my God, spare me.
So how do we work together?
But there can be, you know, there's a happy medium.
Okay.
There's some way, I think, that by working together and talking and sorting through ideas, where we can meet those functional requirements and somehow blend them into the overall aesthetics of a room. Mm-hmm. I mean, we've done that on several different occasions, mm-hmm. Where the conference table that we referred to in the last edition, mm-hmm. You walk into that boardroom and here's a 40-foot table that has $500,000 worth of AV equipment mm-hmm. in it, and you can't see any of it.
Right.
When they come in and ergonomically they turn in the right place where you'd want the microphone to be, it's there.
Right.
Where you want the monitor to be, we both spent hours making sure that it was in the right place, in the right time, but at the flip of a switch, it disappeared and was seamless. I mean, it's a gorgeous piece of work. Right. And I think a real demonstration of how spending time with each other, working with a sketchbook, we can both come up with a result that keep everybody happy and satisfies the function that the client needs.
Right. So, like an early needs analysis, obviously working with yourself, an architect, the clients, developing good programming documents. So basically good documentation, sketches, anything that we can do to kind of give the client a visual before we actually do the end result is always helpful.
Well, I think even before you get to, when you get through your programming, what you need to get to is what's the underlying requirement. I think it's very difficult with technology for clients to really understand what they want versus what they can afford versus what they need. Mm-hmm. And that's where a good integrator can really get in there and ask the questions to understand what a client is really requiring of a space.
Right. Yeah, one of the things that I think is very helpful is when we do work together that we have a series of questions. They may seem like boilerplate, but they're very good questions that always drill the client down into a particular area. And do you work off of something very similar to that? Do you work off of maybe a sheet or a set of notes that you kind of ask the same questions over and over? Or?
We always try to have a program document, a questionnaire that starts to ask general questions, but more importantly, it starts a dialogue and it really allows us to dig deeper through a series of interviews to really get at the heart of the matter. A space may say that it wants to be 400 square feet, but what are you going to do with that space? And what kind of budget do you have to meet in that space? What kind of time frame does it have to be delivered in? Because all of these things meld together to create the problem to which a design becomes the solution. The AV component of that is just one more layer of a series of constraints that has to be dealt with.
We'll be back after these messages.
The Crestron MPS integrates 5 separate AV components into a single rack-mountable package. MPS brings a complete presentation control and signal routing solution to boardrooms, classrooms, and auditoriums. MPS works right out of the box and may be controlled directly from the front panel. MPS from Crestron.